I was debating whether or not to film this because most of the time I show people all of the positive stuff and the things that are going well. I'm not averse to talking about things that are causing a problem, but I think this week my mood has just really started to deteriorate, and I've been thinking about why. I think there's some reality things sort of setting in. I'm now in a house in the village, and I'm basically, I want to say, sort of stuck here waiting for the builders to do what they need to do. And then it's been raining now for 2 weeks, on and off, but enough that it means that they can't start the roof. And so because they can't start the roof, sort of they're demolishing some of the other things, but there's a few things that just are all put on hold. And so I feel like every day it's like, well, are they coming today or are they not? I feel like I can't plan anything else or organise other things. I don't feel like I can plan to go anywhere for the next sort of 4 months. And given that my life has been 2 years of constant travel, I think I'm actually struggling with the idea about not being able to go anywhere. This village house is lovely and it's a really nice, it's a lovely place to be. But it's small, and it means that, and I know it's only temporary, but I'm just trying to think about why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? And I was reflecting actually yesterday that I feel like I did during COVID, where it was just me and the dog, that when I was camping out in the house, I was going into the village every night and eating at the taverna, and I was going to the hotel during the day to shower, and I think I was seeing people. And this week, I've really not seen so many people. Now, of course, the obvious thing is, well, I can just take myself out, but the reality is that other people aren't out either because of the rain. And so it's a different atmosphere to what it was like in the summer. Now, a few people sort of said to me, winter here is like that and it's hard. But I think if I was in my own house and I could invite people around, like I have invited people around tonight because I just kind of wanted to acknowledge the fact that I haven't been able to invite people around to where I'm living or staying for a long time. And so once I was in this house and decided that I could, it seemed like the next most rational thing to do. But it was just bizarre. This morning I was talking to my financial advisor, and he's been in Germany for 4 months, and they've just gone back to Australia, and he was saying how nice it was to be back in Sydney, even though he really enjoyed being in Germany. And I just started to cry. And I'm like, I don't understand. See, now I want to cry. And I'm like, what am I upset about? Then I talked to my daughter, and then that just made more tears. And, I am reflecting on, well, why is it? And I think it's just a reality setting in of, this is the decision that I've made. And I'm not regretting the decision, but the fact that that I need to be here, and I'm in the village actually, and I need to be here to supervise the building work that isn't happening, and feeling like I can't do anything else in my life because I've got to be here to make sure that, the work continues. It just makes me feel like I'm stuck, and I don't like feeling stuck. And even though I know it's only for a few months, I just think it brings up a whole bunch of, the mood stuff that I've probably been running away from for the last 2 years. And maybe that means that it is time that I have to resolve some of that stuff if I'm going to settle myself down. I don't know. But I just thought it was important to share that it's not all perfect. And sometimes even though I've pushed, and I've pushed really hard to get everything moving so that I can get my visa and everything sorted out, and I will have a base here, I will still continue to travel because it's really important to me. It's actually really important, I think, to my own mental health, this idea that, I've always got something to look forward to. And because I just don't know when this project's going to end, even though it's supposed to be finished by the end of the year, to me, it feels like it's kind of, it sounds silly, but a little bit of a noose around my neck. Like, I have to stay here to make sure that it gets done. And it was my choice to buy this house. And, when it's done, it'll be beautiful and it'll be exactly everything that I wanted it to be. But I'll be free to leave it, right? And for whatever reason, and this is a really interesting point, and the fact that it's bringing up more tears, there's something about having freedom that really impacts my mental health in general. And I'm curious about what that is. Also, the other element is the need to be connected. And I think I probably haven't, because I've been in and out of the village and I say hello to everybody, but I haven't yet really got that good core social group established. And I think that's an important part of being able to cross any cultural boundary, right? You want to settle yourself. But in order to settle yourself, you've got to be able to find the right people, be able to speak the same language, and then, connect in a way that is fits in with your lifestyle, right? And if I think back to my social group in Australia, we would have great conversations about all sorts of things, but we also had regular things that we did during the week that meant that we were catching up a lot. And I think while I've spent time traveling and being with friends and doing those sorts of things, I've managed to feel some of that connection as I've been traveling around. And now that I'm here and I recognize that I have to create a life for myself here, it's hitting home about just what a challenge some of that's going to be. Because socially always we can find people that we're aligned with, that we can have great conversations with. And, lifestyle-wise, similar sort of things. But, there aren't the sort of social things that I used to do in Australia. Like, there isn't the trivia nights. There isn't, the core group of people who are of the same age and sort of background that get together regularly to catch up, have dinner, those sorts of things. And I think the reality of working out how am I going to make that happen for myself, and how do we settle that in. And I think this is where doing it on your own is also really difficult. I'm a very strong, independent woman, right? But, the reality is, if I had a partner right now, all of this stuff wouldn't be such an issue. And the fact that I felt this week very much like I used to during COVID is so interesting to me. I've just been reflecting on that it's just me and the dog. Thank God for the dog. Okay. Thank God for the dog. Look. You can't have your nose running on camera. But yeah, it's just tough. And some of those things trying to adjust, it's tough. And I think it's important to share that it's not just all perfect, go and live on a Greek island, right? It's tough. You don't know the language. I mean, I'm trying to learn the language, and my neighbours are great, and it's a village and a lot of people speak English, but I think just on top of everything else, It's just hard. And today, for whatever reason, just seems to be a really hard day. So, thanks for listening.